Your mom's so much cooler than mine, MDB. My mom's confused when it comes to playing games. My mom played like Dungeons and Dragons in college and stuff growing up, so it's not weird at all for her. She grew up with games. She didn't get into video games for a long time, although she did love her Atari and she did love her NES, but then she ended up being busy with work for a lot of her life. But nowadays she plays lots of World of Warcraft. Because she's a retiree, forced retiree due to many surgeries and Ehlers-Danlos and whatnot, but hey, if she can't work, she might as well play video games. Well, Mandy, you are wasting your life right now playing, being in this stream.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot better things I could be doing. Like writing music for video games.
NXT TakeOver London. Much better way to spend your time.
You know.
Hey,
you're gonna like it so much when you watch it. I almost said play it.
There could
it's not a video game.
There could be better things that almost all of us could be doing.
Yeah.
Well, this is how I get paid. So this is the best thing I could be doing right now. This well and truly is.
I could be doing my homework right now, but I'm saving it for later.
It's like saving the best for last in a meal, you know?
Yep. My 3-page essay that I think is due on Tuesday.
So the money making is pretty stagnant right now. And I'm thinking I might need to expand into another city. Let's check what the price is right now for a new title. 2,000? Gonna have to save up a bit more. And how old is our dude? 23, not bad. So about 5 years have passed? No, 4 years, okay. My mom is very supportive of my job because she knows it's a legit job. She knows video games can be an actual job and that online content creators is a real job and everything. We watch the Blizzard World Championship series of StarCraft together every year. StarCraft 2 specifically.
Yeah. Being a musician isn't a real job, apparently.
It's okay. Literally the most age-old form of art in human history is not a job, apparently.
Yeah.
Of all of the joy that music has brought to every human on Earth over the course of human history, apparently it is not a worthwhile thing to make.
I know.
God forbid I believe that happiness is more important than money. And as long as you're able to pay your bills and you're happy making music, then why the fuck should anyone tell you not to?
I know, right?
Same way I look at my job. I'll never be rich, and that's totally fine, because I don't give a shit about being rich. I give a shit about being happy and making other people happy, which is why what I do for a living is make free videos where I tell dumb jokes and play video games. Because, evidently, 26,500 people got entertained enough by my videos to subscribe, so apparently it does have value.
See?
And I have fun doing it, and they have fun watching it, so I'm having fun and spreading the happiness. That's a good thing. To me, that has value.
I'd say that I'd be okay never having money, which I'm fine not ever having money, like a lot of money, but I know that eventually I am going to have an excess of money.
At some point, I'll probably have some decent money, like stable money, but that's just because Fatima is getting to law regarding, like, law-related stuff. She's a document specialist, and she's looking to, like, try and get a job at a law firm and stuff, so we're never going to be rich. We're going to be average money, but that's fine. I don't need anything more than that, and if I were to ever get internet famous and become, like, a millionaire, then there are a lot of charities that need the money more than I do. So that's where it's going. Is charities and using money to help out other people starting in the job that I also do. Like, helping out smaller YouTubers financially and stuff is something I would love to do because, like, any old school YouTuber will tell you, like, it's really hard to get into YouTube nowadays because it's just so fucking impossible. It's just so fucking impossible to get noticed because there's so many people, and that's truer and truer every day. Like, I've been on YouTube for like 6+ years, and it's
Yeah.
fucking impossible. It was fucking impossible for me to get started, and I'm still getting started. Like, you know, you can look at my 26,500 subscribers and say he's got a ton, but look at my view count, my view count on any given video I put out. Like, I'm making less than minimum wage. I would be making more money working at Tim Hortons or McDonald's. That is
Yeah.
the fact of the matter is that, and when I say that, I don't mean just off YouTube. I mean include my YouTube paycheck, my Hitbox live streaming paycheck, and my Patreon donations every month, and it equals to less than minimum wage.
Yeah.
Significantly less than minimum wage. So, yeah, and we're talking about Canada here. Our money is valueless, which means that unfortunately our food and living costs are very expensive, which doesn't help.
Right.
Yeah. Our money's value just kind of keeps dropping.
You're right, Anders. I have been streaming before the beginning of time. I've been streaming since before Twitch TV even existed. So I was doing video game streaming with Adobe Flash encoder on Justin TV on a 1 megabit upload back in the day before any of these game streaming sites existed, is how long I've been doing streaming. So I'm fucking old school, and I'm not even popular at all. Like, I'm not making a living off of this at all. Like, I'm making a living entirely because I'm very, very fortunate to have a relative who owns the one room that I live in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you want to get into YouTube as a job, Godspeed, because you need some crazy luck to make a living out of this thing.
Good luck being a musician, too. I make next to nothing.
And with your trade, like, we have enough problems on YouTube with our money and stuff getting stolen. With our content, a lot of our content can get re-uploaded on shit like Facebook, and all the views will end up on Facebook and you'll never be compensated for it, and that's a huge problem right now. It's called freebooting. It's
Yeah.
a massive problem, but that usually only happens to big YouTubers. It still happens to small ones, but it's a problem that seriously needs to be fixed. But it happens a lot less often than people who steal artwork. Artwork! Oh my god!
Don't get me started.
That is a theft nightmare.
It
of
is.
people stealing artwork. Like, artwork is probably even easier to steal than music, and music's a hell of a lot easier to steal than video stuff. Like,
Yeah.
video stuff is hard to pass off as your own. My face is on screen.
Yep.
And I'm like saying my YouTube channel name and shit. Like, that's hard to pass off. Like, if it goes up, you can steal some money and steal some views, but it's gonna get caught. With
Yeah.
music, it can get stolen, and you can be, if you're small, you can get stuck in a legal limbo there where you can't prove that you own it.
I
And-
actually can because I have the original sheet music on file, but yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
It's still a huge pain in the ass. Like,
It is.
but artwork has to be by far the easiest art, or the easiest form of art is like, you know, physical paintings or digital drawings. You know, when you the form of art that is easiest to steal is the visual still picture of art. That is
yeah.
incredibly easy to steal,
It is.
and so many people get hardcore fucked over by that.
They do, especially like even people who just trace their art, because a lot of people are getting smart with watermarks these days, but even that won't save them if you trace it.
Yep.
Also, who was it that said it? Bolty Head said, I'm pretty sure the Canadian dollar is worth slightly more than the Australian dollar.
By about a cent or two, yes.
It's true, because the Canadian dollar is worth 1.02 Australian dollars.
Yep.
Barely worth more at all.
It's 2 cents more.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying when you think about it, because Canada, as shit as our economy is right now, our previous conservative government intentionally inflated the currency and caused inflation to devalue the dollar for tourism purposes, which backfired hardcore. It was intentional. With Australia, from what I've been told, their money devaluing is not intentional. Yeah, that's bad. Because, man, it's plummeting. Both of our currencies are plummeting.
It's plummeting bad.
Tide has been changed.
So I know not much has gone on in the game this stream so far, but so is the starting opener for the rogue. If you do the safe opener, is you need to kill like a solid usually like 6 to 8 turns, days, whatever you want to call it, years. Day-night cycles, essentially. You need to kill a bunch of them off to be able to actually do something.
At 14 million subs, MDB will trademark the following: man bar, man, bar, Mah-Dry-Bread, Mah-Dry-Bread, and MDB.
Yep.
If you copyright the words dry and bread, you're gonna have a hard time.
You're gonna copyright the word man, bar, and bread.
Hey, if I lived in the States, I could probably get away with it. Their system is so fucking broken. And for context, anyone wondering in the future, this stream is happening very shortly after the whole Fine Brothers fiasco.
Also, that's actually funny because I have a homework assignment for my federal statutes and criminal code class where I have to look into the Canadian copyright laws.
Good. It's good shit to know.
I decided to pick that one. I could have picked, like, there was a huge list of federal statutes I could have chosen, but copyright law stuck out to me.
Oh, it's useful for YouTube, although YouTube uses California fucking local laws and enforces them globally. So, useful to know, but if you had an option on the sheet of California copyright law for some reason, it would have been more useful, weirdly enough. What did the Fine Brothers do? Oh, they only fucking started putting through patents to trademark, Fine Bros, the word react, the word gaming, a lot of shit that they didn't actually say on their channel. And they put out these really passive-aggressive fucking notices and videos saying, like, when people are having backlash with, they're like, but we're not gonna do any of that stuff with you. You don't understand. Like, they don't apologize for anything. They make it seem like it's everyone else's fault. They have retracted it, and they still haven't apologized. They didn't even admit that they tried to trademark the word gaming. They tried to trademark the fucking word gaming. And because this is all public court records and everything, people can just look it up. But they never said that. People had to find it out on their own. Really scummy shit. And the thing is, like, they're saying, like, we get that it could be abused for that, but we weren't going to use it for that. Here's the thing. Not only do they have a history of taking down channels that do React videos as if they own it, which they don't, not only do they have a history of doing that, United States copyright law is use it or lose it. They have to enforce those things that they copyright, because if they don't, their copyright becomes invalid. So if they were to ever try and take someone down, and they just said, what about all these other guys? You didn't do anything about them. Then the court would say, don't worry about it then. So, yes, the Fine Brothers would start taking down everyone's video and forcing them to go through their horrible licensing system where they take all your fucking money. So, yeah, Fine Brothers, complete fucking scumbags.
Yeah.
A lot of big YouTubers made videos on that one. That one made waves.
Yeah.
And I don't blame it for, because that is such an abuse of the system. That is a disgusting abuse of the system. I am so happy at the big reaction it did.
Yeah, apparently, like, somebody set up a live stream of how many subscribers they're losing every day.
Yeah, I actually have the page that refreshes every day on my tabs. I'm gonna check it every single day until it goes into positives. It's looking like tomorrow it might go back to positives, though. Because it's slowed down to the point that they only lose 1,000 a day when they used to lose like 30,000 a day.
Oh my god.
Grand total so far, they've lost 500,000, which
Jesus.
it's not even a dent, honestly.
It's still a lot. Like, 500,000 is a lot of people.
They make more than $1 million a month.
They do.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's
So,
unnecessary.
like, it
really
nothing
is.
It is absolutely nothing to them.
Yeah.
It's just so unnecessary to make that amount of money a month.
Yeah. And they're just pouring it back into their own business. That's the worst part. I strongly believe, and I don't think it should ever be enforced by law or anything like some people think. I strongly believe, though, in, Hi, Millie. Sorry, she's being all hyper today. I strongly believe that if you are a very wealthy individual like that, you need to spread your wealth around and help people. You have the money to go around. You don't need all that money. Yes, continue to make your business grow by all means. You yourself live somewhat humble for how much you make. Like,
yeah.
Live so that you're comfortable and your family is comfortable, and spend a lot of money on helping other people get to the point where you are. Give them the opportunities
Absolutely.
they may not have had. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's easy for me to say I have lived below the poverty line for the majority of my life. I live below the poverty line right now. I've never
Yeah.
been wealthy. I've always been poor. But still. Oh my god, MTB, you communist. I think
Yeah.
there are a lot of things in communism that are good. It's just... that is not what Canada needs. I'll put it that way. I think it's so stupid that people will say, like, but that sounds like communism. I don't give a shit what it sounds like. I give a shit the validity of the idea. So, how about we take everything as an idea and we look at the pros and cons of them instead of using words that sound good or bad? I always think that's so stupid when someone just tries to apply a bad word to something to get people to not listen to it anymore.
I know.
So dumb.
It is.
Yeah. Well, the word communist is just such a negative word.
Oh, it's so dumb.
It's only a negative word because of
the
like-
Cold War.
because of the Cold War. That's the only reason it's a negative word.
Pretty much. It's just another form of government. It is no more or less able to be corrupted than democracy. Are you going to sit there and tell me? Like, it's always American people who argue this so much. They're like, communism's a great concept, but it'll never work. And then I point to countries where it worked. Like, the world's largest economy right now is China. And they're like, China has all kinds of human rights violations. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, it does. That doesn't mean the form of government doesn't work. That means the government there is corrupt. And they're like, communism is super corrupt. And I'm like, are you telling me that you don't believe your own fucking American government is not corrupt?
Right.
Did Edward Snowden teach you nothing?
Holy
Every
crap.
single government can become corrupt.
Well, pretty much
know.
every government is corrupt in some way.
Pretty much, and it's not because they're sinister and evil. It's because they think they're. It's because they think they're doing the right thing. So they think that bending the rules is okay to do that. And you know, that's subjective. Sometimes you can agree that it is, and sometimes you can agree that it isn't. Sometimes you need some leeway because the exact word of the law isn't as important as the intention of the law. You know, culture change, people change, rules change. It's a malleable thing. The line between what is and is not corrupt is so vague. And it is always done with the best of intentions.
Well-
People don't do things because mwahaha, they're evil. Everyone is the hero of their own story. No one thinks they're the bad guy.
Well, and laws bend and change, and the reason that they have that leeway is so that they can make a different kind of law called case law, which just changes the
Exactly.
law to be, since they found this one situation where the law didn't really work, they add a case law, which changes it to make it work properly.
Debatably, case law is debatably the most important form of law.
Well,
It's the
yeah.
practical application of law.
Well, it's because the base law is important. It's basically the rule. Like, it'll be like if we were to use something like murder, right? You use murder as the law. Murder's a law. You're not allowed. Pretty much, murder is you killed somebody and you knew you did it,
Yeah.
right? Case law then tells us that if you kill somebody and you knew you did it, but you were intoxicated or something, or you killed them behind the wheel, well, that's not murder. That's manslaughter.
Exactly, because it wasn't intentional.
Right, because
It's like, it was negligent, usually.
but that's what case law tells you. So it basically
Yeah.
tells you how to use the law to give the person the correct kind of punishment or do the correct kind of action in reaction to the law.
It's my favorite comparison ever. It's of and you can thank D&D for this one once again for why people know it. It's the difference between intelligence and wisdom. Intelligence is the word of the law. Wisdom is the application of that knowledge, which would be case law.
Yeah. So you could really...
And wisdom, intelligence is always important, and wisdom is always more important. Because intelligence without any wisdom is a terrifying thing. It is knowing a lot of shit and not knowing how to use it. misused intelligent things is a terrifying idea.
Yes. That is a good way to explain it. D&D.
Exactly.
D&D.
Well, exactly, because people always ask in D&D when they're learning D&D, like, what's the difference between intelligence and wisdom from, like, a role-play standpoint? And the way you explain it, because, like, people will say, like, what is a high intelligence, low wisdom character, and what is a low intelligence, high wisdom character? Like, how the hell would what is an example of that in the real world? In which the best way to describe it is a high intelligence, low wisdom would be the trope of the forgetful sage, or a forgetful, like, wizard. Where, like, he's intelligent, he knows all these rituals and these tomes and everything, but maybe he's old and, like, he's forgetful, and he doesn't remember words to things sometimes, but he has this vast knowledge, but he has a hard time recalling it and making use of it. And the example of low intelligence, high wisdom is the really common sense farmer. He doesn't know much, maybe doesn't speak very good English, he's not very worldly, but he's got strong common sense and fundamentals, and he knows how to do what he knows how to do. He can do what he knows how to do well. That is wisdom. It is the application of the knowledge they have, even if it's not much knowledge. Which is why I will always say, people say I'm smart, and I say I'm not smart, I'm wise. I don't know a whole lot. I'm just really good at what I know.
Yeah.
I take
Dylan
pride in that.
Yeah. Dylan brought up a point that I was about to bring up. Intelligence is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put a tomato in a fruit salad.
That's a really popular picture. I think even Fury posted that in the PTCP group chat the other day. I think it was like 2 days ago.
Charisma.
Did that picture just do its rounds again sometime soon? Or recently?
No, it's something I've seen a long time ago, and that is what I've used as an example to a lot of people who ask the difference between intelligence and wisdom.
And then on top of that, charisma is convincing someone else to eat a tomato fruit salad.
Yeah.
But isn't a tomato fruit salad just a salsa?
Yeah, and then we found the bard.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what I play, interestingly enough.
I've played a lot of bards before.
Is that what you're gonna play in
No.
our D&D session?
No,
I might.
probably gonna go
might-
cleric, actually.
I might do bard. It kind of depends on if the team, like, if a bard is something that would aid the team. You know, like if that is a hole that needs to be filled, I will gladly play the bard because I do enjoy playing the bard.
Cool.
I'm on the place where I'm hoping you play the bard because I know
me?
bards are interesting.
Oh
No.
yeah, bards are fun. It's fun having a bard in the party. It's great for roleplay.
Well, and it's
Oh,
great
totally.
it's great for me because then I can put in situations where a bard would be more useful than a combat
Yeah.
class.
And those are fun. And like and you know, fucking a lot of new versions D&D, fucking everything is good as a combat class, which I think kind of defeats part of the point of D&D. But fuck it, we're rolling with the punches here and making the best out of what we have.
Yep. I'm
So we are
pretty
doing
much
5th, right?
yes, as far
All
as I can.
I'm gonna have to
learn.
learn 5th. I want to give 5th a chance because I've heard really good things and I've heard really bad things. I want to give it a fair shake.
So you can go to the website actually and get the basic player's handbook. It's enough to start playing the game.
Okay, I'll do that.
I have the player's handbook and I've got the DM's the Dungeon Master's Guide.
They should play that wrestling RPG. Which one, Anders?
Because obviously we can play it with Tabletop Simulator, which will be awesome.
Yes.
People will love
Yeah.
that.
I just feel like it would be so obvious to go bard because I'm the musician in the group. I just don't want to do
but
that.
I have the golden pipes. Did you forget?
Sure.
I'm basically just waiting for you guys to pick your character types, and then I'm going to build a story around that.
Yeah.
Yeah, do we know everyone who's in that yet? Worldwide Wrestling. Is that like a tabletop game or like computer game or what, Anders? I don't think I've heard of that one. Yes, who's everyone in our D&D session? Like, do we have a confirmed list of people yet? Because I know me,
don't.
you, Mandy.
We don't have a confirmed list because there's me, you, Mandy. Shally said she wants to play, which is awesome, you know.
I know she's been really busy with stuff, so I don't know, like, if she'll have time. I don't know.
I think the other person was Ash, and I think he said he might be able to. It all depends on...
Work schedule?
No, there's only 4 people in this chat group. Yeah, so it's Ash, you, Mandy, and Shally and I.
All right.
So Ash doesn't know anything about 5e, and it depends on what time. Yeah, basically just depends on when everybody's free. But pretty
Yeah.
much, I said whenever everybody's free, we
Yeah.
can make a schedule.
I think it's pretty safe to say that we're probably not going to start playing D&D until the day comes that I move out of here, because
Yeah.
there's no way I would have a stable schedule until then.
And people
Yeah,
are asking
totally.
how you play. Can you play D&D online? You can. You can easily play it with. A lot of people say Roll20. But Roll20 is really difficult for your DM. It's kind of awkward. So I bought Tabletop Simulator, which actually makes it very easy. And there's a lot of people who
is.
use the workshop
Yeah.
to make resources for it, so you can
Yeah.
then use those resources to create a table where everyone
Yeah.
can play.
Tabletop Simulator
is a
is
very
the
cool
best way
game.
to go.
Also, if you have a character sheet that you build, you can put what is it? There are tools. You can put tablets on the table. So everybody, instead of having
cool.
their character sheet like on a separate monitor or whatever, you can have it actually within Tabletop Simulator in the game, so you can scroll through it on this little tablet.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool game. For anyone wondering, Tabletop Simulator, you can get that on Steam.
Yes,
I already have it.
and it uses
Yeah,
the
I've
Steam
got it too.
Workshop.
So it's really cool actually, because you can play like any tabletop game that someone makes a proper workshop thing for. You can play like Secret Hitler is on there. That game's awesome. All kinds of awesome games you can play on there, really.
There's pretty much anything you can think of. It's probably on there.
Yeah, any game you can think of is probably on there, and it's free to get on there. What you would have to pay for is like if you buy like an actual copy of the game so you can have the instructions, because that's not with the workshop thing. That's kind of how they get away with the gray market thing of it. So yeah, as long as you know the rules and everything, then yeah, if you
Then
have
you can play
Tabletop
the game.
Simulator, you can play it with whoever else has it, and it's pretty awesome. When it first came out, I remember there were some real issues with Tabletop Sim,
Yeah.
but apparently it's gotten really good with time.
It's got very good. Is there a good free D&D? Well, a good free D&D way to play online, like people will say Roll20, and
RP Tools is apparently good too. I've watched people play on that, and apparently it's pretty good.
people say it's really good, but I will always recommend spending the little bit of money and getting everybody to play through Tabletop Simulator, because it's just better.
Tabletop Simulator is very clean, which is nice.
It's just better. It's clean. If you're the DM, you can disable it so people can't flip the table, so you won't have
Which
to.
is good, yeah. There are a lot of things
reset.
that the host can do to make sure that things don't get like too fucked up. Like you can have a secret area, you can have a secret area on the table. So if the DM needs to put things down and look at them, but doesn't want the other players to see, they can have a zone where no one else can see.
Yeah.
So they're like all these little nice things that make it so like the things that you think would be an issue in it, they've thought of and fixed over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's actually become very friendly over time. Like when it first came out, there's no fucking possible way you could play D&D on that thing.
Yeah. But now it's very easy.
Yeah.
Dylan is suggesting we start an MLG Candyland stream on Tabletop Simulator.
We could. I have played that game before, and I remember
played
being
Candyland,
balls.
too.
That'd be ridiculous. I would love that.
But Brand flipping the table is the when you flipping the
It's
table
funny.
when you fuck it is the best part of Tabletop Simulator.
What?
Well, if you flip the table and there's too much stuff on the table, the frame rate just dies.
Oh
It
god,
really
yeah.
does. Sometimes it causes my whole game to crash.
Because the physics are
Um,
just horrible.
One
They
day
are.
we do need to do Secret Hitler on that, especially on
Okay.
PTCP.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
we need to do Secret Hitler, and then sometime. Brandon, I forget. Have you played or watched Secret Hitler?
I watched a bit of Secret Hitler, the
Oh, it's
video
good,
you
isn't
sent
it?
me. It
Did
looks
I
pretty
send
good.
you a co-optional one?
Yeah, it looks-
Total Biscuit and all them.
It looks a lot like games
It's
like
like Werewolf.
Werewolf. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of based on Werewolf and Mafia stuff like
You
that.
basically just scream at each other until one of you.
You know what we really need to play one day, though? We really need to play Dark Deeds on, it's a fan-made game on Warcraft 3. It is essentially Werewolf made in Warcraft 3, and it's really fucking good, because, like, you play all these different peasants, and you build your base, and everyone's like, it's a witch hunt figuring out who is the monster, and they're trying to kill people at night under the cover of darkness, and everyone's, like, freaking out. It's a really good version of Werewolf. It's great.
Werewolf is it's an awesome game.
It is. God, keep trying to get the money to smuggle more alcohol to sell.